May 11th, 2022 meeting of the Local Planning Agency of the City of Dunedin will now come to order. The Local Planning Agency is an advisory board of citizens appointed by the City Commission. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to make recommendations to the City Commission regarding each substantive item on the agenda. Tonight, the Local Planning Agency will be making recommendations to the City Commission for items that will be legislative when they go before the City Commission. The Commission will make the final decision on these items at a future duly noticed City Commission meeting. Tonight's format for each item that will be legislative before the City Commission will be as follows. There will be no swearing in for these items that will be legislative before the City Commission. I will introduce each item on the agenda, after which the City Representative will present the legislative item. Thereafter, the members of the Local Planning Agency will have an opportunity to ask questions to the City Representatives. Finally, anyone from the public may come forward. Those from the public wishing to speak will need to complete a comment card and submit it to the city clerk or business manager. When their name is called, you'll need to approach the dais, state your name and address, and then utilize the speaker's lectern in order for your comments to be recorded. We want to be able to hear all comments, so individual speakers will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and a representative of a group for up to 10 minutes at my discretion. To do so, the individuals must have waived their time to the representative by providing their name and address on the back of the comment card. Upon the conclusion of the public comment, we will close the public comment portion and the Local Planning Agency will deliberate and vote on its recommendation. First item on tonight's agenda is the approval of the minutes from the April 13th, 2022 LPA meeting. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes? Hearing none, and I have none, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as submitted?
I'll move to accept the motion. There are the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those by the same sign. The minutes stand approved as submitted. The second item on our agenda tonight is Ordinance 22-17. Ordinance 22-17 is the First Amendment of Development Agreement with Gateway Dunedin LLC for the Gateway Dunedin Mixed-Use Project located at Main Street, Milwaukee Avenue, and Skinner Boulevard. Has anyone had any ex parte communication regarding this ordinance? Hearing none, then I'd like to invite our city representatives, George Kinney, Joseph DePasqua, Nikki Day, anyone else from the city that would be interested in being a representative.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm going to actually turn this over to Joey for a quick description on what we're here for. And basically what we're doing tonight is we are amending what we call a First Amendment to the development agreement with for the Gateway project. There are a couple modifications that Joey will explain very quickly. And if you have questions after that, myself or Joey will try to answer, but we also have the city manager here with us and our economic development director here with us.
Thank you, George. For the record, Joseph DePasqua on behalf of the Community Development Department. And as George mentioned, what we have for consideration is an amendment to the existing development agreement for the Gateway Dunedin Mixed-Use Project. And a little background, you may recall this project came through originally as a development agreement ahead of design review. In December of 2020, the development agreement was executed, followed by the process for the design review, and as you know, you recommended approval to the City Commission, and it was ultimately approved. Since that time, the applicant has had some changes to the project, and those changes have prompted the need to amend the development agreement because they don't fall within the existing parameters. And so what I'd like to do is just walk you through those changes as they are in the development agreement. And of course, the process is the same, as you know, whether you amend a development agreement or have a new development agreement. So it's treated the same as far as hearing processes and how the application for the amendment moves through our approval process. And again, background as to how we got here, Mr. Kokalakis, on behalf of Gateway Dunedin LLC, did request some changes to the development agreement on March 1st. Those were forwarded to the city manager. Ultimately, it was placed on the city commission for them to authorize the city manager to then begin negotiations of that amendment. That happened. Of course, the amendment was negotiated and is being presented to you this evening. And really and it was provided to you in your backup along with the enabling ordinance. There are really 5 changes outlined in the amendment, and briefly they are that 2 additional properties are being added to the total site project. Another 0.39 acres is being increased. This is the property that the Soggy Bottom Brewery and the, I think it's called Southern Q Barbecue building is on, and the property directly behind it that abuts Skinner Boulevard. So that is increasing the area, the acreage of the project. The second is that as a result of that additional acreage, the applicant or the developer is requesting an increase in the number of apartments from 81 to 90, and the acreage does support that request. There is a relocation necessary of a stormwater pipe. You may recall there were some off-site improvements negotiated as part of the development agreement. That is being included in the planned off-site improvements the developer will be handling, As a result of the 9 additional units, our Parks and Recreation Department did recalculate our parkland impact fee in considering those additional units, and that was provided to you as well as an exhibit. And then finally, because of the change in the scope and some of the changes in working out what we're here to talk about today, the time frame for implementation has been adjusted as well, because obviously the developer needed additional time to do what they're doing now. So in a nutshell, that is really the changes that are in the First Amendment, and with that, I will be glad to answer any questions. As Mr. Kinney said, we have a few of us here who can probably answer any questions you may have.
Someone have any questions?
So he purchased the entire property of the brewery then?
Correct.
So I'm looking at the site plan, the C6 plan. It does not reflect the new footprint of the hotel rooms, I guess. I guess he's expanding on the hotel rooms, or is it?
The apartments.
The apartments. So the 90 apartments gets larger, and the hotel 79 rooms stays the same?
Yeah, I'm going to defer to the exact details of the developer, but what we've been told and what the developer has stated when they requested negotiation is that the additional 9 rooms will not change the footprint of the apartment building. They're simply taking some larger 3 units and making them into 1s and 2s. So the footprint of the building will remain the same. The hotel will remain at the 79 units. So the increase in density is only to the apartments.
So at the brewery, what's that going to be, just parking then?
They're going to be doing some work on the rear parking, reworking the rear parking.
Okay.
Okay, so the original drawings that we had of the project will remain the same?
Yeah, so the building itself, the footprint of the building, the look of the building will remain the same. They're basically reconfiguring it to absorb 9 additional units. And again, I don't want to speak for the developer, but the footprint of the building will remain the same. The outward look of the building, we understand, is going to remain the same, but there is apparently a market need for smaller apartments versus larger. So that was the crux behind, I think, the developer taking this approach.
Are there any other questions of staff?
And there'll be no further review if this passes? I mean, the project, even though it's been changed, will not come before us again?
So the changes, if approved as part of this development agreement amendment, would be considered minor in nature and would be approved administratively.
So we wouldn't see any other plans other than what we've seen?
It would not be considered a major amendment to a design review, so it does not require the full floor. So to answer your question, no, it would not go back through a formal hearing.
I have a question about the function of the hotel. I would assume it looked like from the site plan that there are some things that the hotel is going to be serviced by on this new property. So is that something I'll wait and ask that?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Any other questions of staff? Okay, the developer would like to come forward.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all again. Joe Kokolakis, Buena Vista Drive, Dunedin. Like Joey said, over the course of the last, I guess, year and a half, 2 years, we purchased the adjoining property to the east, Soggy Bottom property, from Michael Quill and his wife. Primarily, the purchase was because it was there. During COVID, we sat and kind of reanalyzed the project a little bit and recognized that through that purchase, the additional, and it was purchased through the same entity, Gateway Dunedin, we were allowed an additional 12 units by our calculations of apartments, at least, and slightly more if we increase the size of the hotel. We reached out to the hotel management company, and they said no, they're comfortable with 79 rooms, would not like to increase the size of the hotel. We looked at the apartments and recognized, not necessarily because of the market as to size, because people were working home and were leaning towards larger units, affordability was the issue, because we had several large 3-bedroom and actually very large 2-bedroom units that weren't efficient, but they kept us to our 81 unit count and made sense at the time. We were able to take some of those larger 2-bedrooms. We had 2-story 2-bedroom units, for example, and made 2 1-story 1-bedroom units. And then we had 3-bedroom units that we converted to 1 2-bedroom and 1 1-bedroom unit. We were able to do that and generate an additional 9 apartment units without changing the elevation of the building, the size of the building, the height of the building, the width of the building. Everything is the same. These are all internal shifts. And frankly, as I've said before, we thought it was a minor change. I actually released the design team to move forward with it during, the, I guess, tail end of COVID. And we have a full set of construction documents ready to submit. I sent a letter asking for a change initially just for, one number from 81 to 90 units in the development agreement, thinking it was a minor, non-material change. And then we came up with where we needed to go through this process again. While we were engineering the project, it was discovered that a 24-inch city stormwater line was actually located on the property, not in the right-of-way. As part of this process, the other change to the development agreement is that I'm going to cover the costs to relocate that line, and I think we're working with Jorge in engineering to reduce the size of it, because I think it was oversized, or the engineers are determining that, and put it back in the right-of-way. That will require capturing, for not the entire construction period, but for at least the amount of time to do the work, the angled parking on Main Street, on the south side of the Gateway lot, I guess north side of Main Street, to rip it open and relocate that line. So those are the 2 primary changes in the development agreement, and why we're here.
Thank you, Mr. Fogle. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I do. So the site plan that we saw attached to the development agreement was a little bit difficult for me to read because of its size, I guess. How are you using, and maybe I misinterpreted it, maybe you're not using, the Soggy Bottom property? Are you using it at all to create your additional parking? Are you using it all to service the hotel?
No, we're doing nothing to the Soggy Bottom building and the barbecue building, except maybe some cosmetic upgrades. And then the parking lot of Soggy Bottom, which connects to Skinner, what we're doing now, which is working well with dumpsters and things like that, that in the site plan you initially had, the trucks were going to pull off Main Street, empty the dumpsters, back onto Main Street, and then pull out. Now what we're doing is we're going to dogleg connect to the Soggy Bottom parking lot, and the trucks can go directly out onto Skinner and make a right turn. So aside from, we're not changing the building at all, and aside from some parking lot upgrades, we're going to repave it, it needs work, and things like that.
Soggy Bottom parking.
Soggy Bottom parking lot. All we're doing is connecting to it.
Okay.
I have adequate parking for the additional line units on the lower level of the main building, the apartment building, and the hotel. So, and next time you go to Soggy Bottom, there's an alley there that they have fenced off. We're going to open that up, and we're able to generate, a few additional parking spaces, both in the Soggy Bottom parking lot, and then, and between the hotel and Soggy Bottom.
And that's kind of what I thought. I
Yeah.
thought I saw something that showed me modifications to the site plan behind Soggy Bottom or
Correct.
next to it. So I just didn't realize how you were going to use it, but it sounds like it works out in your favor.
It makes a much more efficient site and functionally much more efficient.
And now you're the owner of a bar.
Yeah.
Will that additional parking be public parking?
Yes, everything on the surface level, whether it's under the apartments or the surface lot kind of on Skinner behind the apartments or Soggy Bottom will all be public parking, I guess technically for the patrons of those businesses. The lower level parking is going to be exclusive to hotel guests and the residents of the apartments.
Okay, congratulations. It's a nice piece of property.
So right now, in changing the development agreement, your start date now is November 20th?
Yes.
Is that
And
the way I
that-
read it?
That gives us some time, I mean, like I said, once we get through this process again, the goal is to submit, and, and understanding that it's a very large project with a, 4-inch stack of drawings, we will be resubmitting in all likelihood. So we gave ourselves time to submit, resubmit, because we've got 2 commission meetings after this. Hopefully have approvals in August, and then be breaking ground in the fall. So that gives us enough time.
Good.
So within the extension time that you're asking for, you've also got to have built in a little bit of a, one more extension after that for a period of 6 months.
Yes.
And you identify some issues, and I just kind of read that as another issue, kind of like COVID, something that comes out of the blue that we're not tuned into.
Yes.
Okay.
It's gotten to be that kind of world. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Thank you. Are there any other questions of Mr. Kokolakis?
Oh, one more. I see here very specifically a start date, excuse me, November 20th of this year.
Hopefully before then. Yeah.
I've been waiting for this project for a long time, okay?
I understand.
And it gave me a little hiccup there when you started to change some of the development order agreements. So
I understand.
I hope on November 20, I'm looking at some torn up dirt, okay?
Tearing up the
Or
road at
before.
least.
Or before.
Joe, what's the duration of the construction?
We were working on that today, actually, and, the best case scenario is 24 months. That's with having crews concurrently finishing out, both the hotel and the apartments. I don't plan on opening one up before the other, but we may have separate subcontractors on each, just because, again, the size of the job. And everyone has limited resources, and everyone has limited access to materials and things like that, so we're trying to spread it around at least. So,
Any other questions? Thank you ever so much.
yeah, thank you.
At this time, I'd like to open this up to the public. If there's anyone in the public that wishes to speak to this ordinance, now would be your opportunity. Anyone in the public that wishes to speak to this ordinance? Hearing none, public hearing is closed. Members of the board.
It's been a number of years that it's come before us, and hopefully now we can try one more time to help this guy out and get this thing going.
Very patient, Mr. Kokolakis, very patient.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 22-17.
Is there a
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded to recommend approval of ordinance 22-17. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by the same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you all. Okay, I'd like to move on to our open forum. If there's anyone in the opportunity for the board to discuss things that are not on the agenda. Anyone have anything that they'd like to?
I did have one, and I've asked this one before. It's a yellow structure at Virginia Lane and Main Street. I don't know if it was a restaurant, going to be a restaurant, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
400 block, yeah.
I think
Any-
it's going to
Anything,
be a restaurant, yes.
is there anything on the table for
We
construction?
have not heard from the owner in quite some time.
Any more activity on our project at Ocean Optics? Our new owner, do we have anything yet?
We have not received anything.
Nothing formal.
Yeah, no, we don't have a new owner yet. It's under contract. So we expect something to close later this month, frankly. But there's no concepts, there's nothing to share at this point in time. Staff will be meeting with them the next couple of weeks. So on that, obviously keep peace in the downtown, so.
Good, thank you.
Great.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mr. Ironsmith. Any other thoughts, questions? All right, hearing none, then I'll open this up to citizen input, opportunity for the public to address the board on an item that is not on the agenda. Anyone in the public that wishes to speak to this? Citizen input?
This is a new item, huh?
This is a new one. Hasn't caught on yet, I guess.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a good thing.
we didn't pass the cards yet.
Maybe wait till January of
Really?
23.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when you guys all retire, then you'll come back. Okay, well, I hear and see no citizen input, so we'll move on to my announcement of the next meeting will be June 8th here at City Hall at 6 PM. Do I hear a motion to
I'll
adjourn?
make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second that.
All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Thank you, everyone, and thanks for all of you for coming out tonight.
Good job, George.
Thank you for watching this City of Dunedin government meeting. If you'd like to review any part of this meeting or watch any previous government meeting coverage, you can watch these meetings online anytime through the city's website, dunedingov.com. Stay connected with everything Dunedin. Follow the city on this channel and on the city's Facebook page, through Twitter, and on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching this Dunedin television production.